there, Adita Lang, and today I'm not going to cook for you, but I do want to tell you a little bit more about organics and genetically modified and natural and hormone-free and all that kind of stuff because it's just getting out of control. Our food used to come from the dirt and we used to be just fine with that, but now it's just gotten a little bit much. So let's talk about, I think, the top of the list, genetically modified. What does that mean? Okay, genetically modified means, and for all you scientists out there, I am trying to talk to the layman person. So I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version. If you want a more technical aspect of it, please go online and find that. But for the Cliff Notes version, genetically modified means that they have modified the seed to withstand high amounts of pesticides so the plant doesn't die. Okay, so that means that a genetically modified lime, for example, has been just sprayed, the seed has been modified so it can take so many pesticides and it won't die. So it means it has more pesticides than the ordinary conventional one. Personally, I really don't want someone to spray a can of Raid on my lime and then for me to eat it. It just doesn't seem appealing to me. So that's one of the biggest problems there. Genetically modified, there's certain crops that for sure right now are genetically modified. Sugar beets, that's where your table sugar comes from, okay? So if your table sugar is not organic, it's probably genetically modified. You have corn, you have soy, and you have wheat. Okay, so you gotta be real careful. So those ingredients, for sure, you'd really like to get them genetically modified. At the same time, too, just so you know, they haven't really done enough research to figure out what's gonna happen to us after eating 10 years of genetically modified foods. They haven't figured out if we're going to grow an extra appendage or not. It's a little strange, and so I'm not really too much into it. So I really much prefer organics. Now, granted, organics aren't perfect. And in this world today, you know, a lot of friends of mine think I'm pretty obsessive about the way that I eat, and I'm very passionate about it, granted. But you have to find a middle ground. So not all organics are created equal, but you know what? It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that at the very least, I'm not getting as many pesticides as I would with conventional or genetically modified foods. So the organics, they take care of the soil better. Those soils have much more nutrients in them, which in turn gives more nutrition to our lime or anything else that we have here, okay? And usually the colors are richer, and if you start getting more organics, you'll start to notice they smell better. The aromas start coming out. I had the other day, it just kind of was a fluke. My mother-in-law brought over a conventional tomato, and I had just gotten my co-op of organic, so I took out the organic tomato, and I had them both here, and the smell was it was like night and day. It really was. And we actually cut them both. We did our own taste test, and of course the organic one won. But, you know, it's just important to understand that. Now, when it comes to your meats, you got to figure this out too. So let's just take chicken. Ideally, the chicken that you want, which also includes the egg, is you want it to be organic, free-range, pasture-fed, which means nobody made the food for the chicken. The chicken went out and ate what the chicken normally eats. And it's organic because nobody sprayed the grass and all the grounds and all that kind of stuff. And that chicken is free to do whatever that chicken wants. Unfortunately, nowadays, what they do is they put a lot of chickens into this little tiny, tiny space, and some guy and a chemist, they make up the food and they feed these chickens so they get big and plump. Well, that does us no good. It gets rid of a lot of nutrition and puts a lot of harmful things into us. So you want organic, free-range, pasture-fed. Okay, so now for red meat. If you're a red meat connoisseur, remember that fat is usually all the toxins are stored in fat. Okay? So in meat, in all those little gristles of the meat, it's really bad, not because it's fat. It's bad because of all the stuff that fat has in it. And that's what you want to stay away from. So again, what you want is you want them to be free range, grass fed, and organic. So you know they haven't been spraying the grass down, and you don't want them eating feed. You want them eating what God gave them to eat. That's going to be your best cow. There are some wonderful ranches. If you start going online and you start looking at some ranches in Texas or Utah, and they actually send you some amazing meats, and again, the taste is like night and day. And that's what you want. That's going to feed your family right and make them strong. Fish is a little bit tricky. A lot of fish these days has mercury in it, so you kind of really want to minimize that with your family. Farm-raised fish, although it sounds kind of glamorous, it's really not. I personally prefer to have a fish that's not been floating around in its own stuff. I want the water to swish in and out. Now there are things that are called wild farm raised, which means that the water swishes in and out. But again, that poor fish has barely any room to swim. I want that fish to grow its muscles from swimming, from doing what it was meant to do. So you want things that are out in the wild, okay? What else do we have? We have turkey would be the same thing, organic, pasture raised, free, just free to roam. And that's what you want to do. So when we're looking at those things, that's what I'd like you to look at in the quality of your foods. Also remember, there's something in transit time. So for example, I live in Florida. Oranges are really popular here in Florida. The other day I went to the grocery store, there was an orange from Australia. Well, do you know how long that poor little orange has taken to get here to Miami? It's insane. So unfortunately, when that orange was freshly picked from the tree, it had 100% vitamin C. But by the time it got to me, it doesn't. So you really want to try to stick to things that are local because they've had very little transit time, right? And then things that come from an organic farm. And you will keep your family strong, healthy, and vibrant. And that's our goal. So let's boost up our immune system, let's eat right, and pack our families with all these vitamins and nutrition from our fruits and vegetables. Have a great day. Bye for now.